Rick Pitino came out at his news conference where he met with the media before his radio show last night and said he's going to encourage Shane Behannon, Russ Smith, and Gorgui Dieng to all at least look at their NBA options, maybe go to some camps and see where they stand. It's going to be a good time to maybe do a little compare and contrast with the Cards and Cats and their NBA fortunes. So first off, who do you think will have a better NBA career, guys? Let's start with Alex Poitras and Shane Behannon. Jeff?
Well, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and enter my son's name in the NBA draft because he has as much shot as some of the guys you just mentioned. I think it's a little premature for some of these guys to be considering. I don't know. You mentioned Shane Behannon, Alex Poitras. Where does Shane Behannon play in the NBA? He's an undersized 6'5" power forward in college. When he gets into the NBA and he has to go up and guard a big guy 6'9", 6'10", a lot of these power forwards now go 7 foot. I don't know where he plays. I said at the beginning of the year, he's got to be able to develop a consistent outside jump shot and have the ability to showcase that, because that's where he's going to have to play in the NBA. At 6'4", 6'5", he's entirely too small. He's no Charles Barkley. He's no Chuck Hayes. He's going to have to develop a consistent outside threat to even have a shot at the NBA. Alex Poitras, I get it. He's got a long way to go. I wouldn't draft him next year. I wouldn't draft him for 2 years. But his potential at 6'8", 6'9", he can play that position, multiple positions in the NBA. Once he really, gets himself and understands the game and how to play it, I think he'll have a good NBA career.
All right, Rashawn, how do you see this one stacking up?
Well, first of all, Shane Behannon is a legit 6'6". He's not 6'4", he's not 6'5". He's a legit 6'6", 6'7" with tennis shoes on, Mr. Mason. And there's been a lot of undersized guys that have made impacts at the power forward spot, even recently. I mean, you look at a guy like DeJuan Blair, who's about 6'6", can't jump over a phone book, but the guy's a very effective player for the San Antonio Spurs. I think that Shane Behannon has shown against the best competition, he brings it. He was the best player on the court when Louisville played Kentucky earlier this year. I mean, the biggest thing with him is he doesn't bring it against lesser competition. That's the biggest issue. He needs to bring it every night, regardless of the competition. I need to see him go out there and dominate a lot like he did in last year's NCAA tournament. I think he'll be a successful guy at the next level, but he is going to be a second-round pick, would be my guess, because of his size, a lot like Blair was. But, he's made a lucrative contract with the San Antonio Spurs, and I think that Shane will do the same.
What about Poitras? So what are your thoughts on him?
I love his ability. I love his athleticism. I love his size. He shows the ability to put it on the floor a little bit. He shows the ability to shoot it a little bit. But the biggest thing with him is, a lot like Terrence Jones, he has to be able to bring it and have that motor that doesn't stop. And that's what he doesn't have. He looks, almost like he doesn't care whether or not he's, out there for the University of Kentucky or not. He really looks like a guy that's really just waiting to get out of there and get drafted. So he's going to have to get the motor going. And if he does that, I think he could have a decent NBA career.
You think both guys come back next season? Poitras is already projected as a lottery pick.
Yeah, it's incredible to think that you would take some of these guys based on the performance of what we see on the court this year. Certainly Archie Goodwin, as well as Alex Poitras come to mind, not achieving, success on the court to put them in a position, although they're going to base it on potential, and the NBA is going to draft on potential. For that reason, I expect that they'll probably enter. I don't know. I mean, I shake my head sometimes to think how some of these kids are able to get drafted when you look at the performance on the court at the collegiate level. But again, we know they're basing that on potential.
Well, with him using up all the oxygen, I'll just say yes. I think both of them are leaving.
All right. How about Gorgui Dieng or Willie Cauley-Stein, fellas? Who do you think out of those two big men will have the better NBA career? Let's start with you, Rashawn.
I think that definitely Gorgui Dieng is a guy that's going to have a successful next level. I think because he can shoot the ball, because he's a very good rebounder. He does a lot of good things, blocking shots.
Improved as a passer, too.
And an excellent passer as well. I think Gorgui has all the tools to be able to have a long NBA career. I think, 10, 12, 15 years would not surprise me with Gorgui, with his size, athletic ability, and his skill level. The thing is, he is a little bit older, which is why I think that, it may be in his best interest, if Louisville does make a long run, to go ahead and make that jump. With Willie Cauley-Stein, he's a young man that has all the upside in the world. It just hasn't been made into actuality yet. The NBA loves that. They love potential. They love guys that actually are very raw, don't really have any skills, but those are the guys that they feel the potential to get a lot better. Willie Cauley is one of those guys, so there's no doubt he will get drafted if he leaves.
What about you? You like Gorgie? If you're a general manager, do you take Gorgie or Willie Cauley?
Well, the comment about without skills is just ridiculous. I mean, you throw those kind of words in there to showcase a kid's talent, whether he's good or not. Listen, here's the bottom line: there's no backup centers in the NBA. Okay, you don't have a center like a Patrick Ewing that's playing with his back to the basket. Most of these centers today are out on the perimeter. They're mobile. They're agile. They get out on the floor. They can shoot from the perimeter. They can defend from the perimeter. Gorgie Jang is a wonderful player, but I don't see any of those capabilities in his game. Willie Cauley-Stein, while very raw at this stage, you certainly can see his athleticism to get it out on the court, to be able to defend. He's taken on smaller forwards. He's taken on guards, and certainly he can take on a big man. I see his ability to be out on the floor and be having a very successful career. I think Gorgie Jang's a good player. I think he'll have a nice NBA career. I think Willie Cauley-Stein's a better option. You look at these. I mean, it's not my opinion. Everybody wants to point at me as a hater. Go to the NBA mock drafts. You don't see Shane Bohannon on any list. You don't see Russ Smith on any list. You do see Alex Poitras. You do see Willie Cauley-Stein. And you do see Archie Goodwin. So I'm not the hater that he wants me out to be. I'm simply telling, the facts of what we know.
Day. It's all about love.
Listen, I'll give my chocolate to somebody else.
But I will say this, Chip, though. I do think that Willie Cauley maybe has the potential to be better than Nerlens Noel down the road.
And I think both guys are gone. I mean, this will be the last year. I think Willie will get projected high and he'll be gone too. Last two, Archie Goodwin and Russ Smith, who have the better career. Kind of similar players, very erratic, turnover prone, shot happy, but have the potential to be really effective players when they're right. Who would you draft right now, Archie or Russ Smith?
If I'm after a 5'9" shooting guard, okay, maybe I consider Russ Smith, but let's be serious. I mean, he might have an NBA career as, Vinnie Johnson did with the microwave coming in. Yeah. I said today earlier, a lot of times what's happening is you put a guy in a game and you put him in for 35 minutes in a game, his weaknesses are going to be exposed, especially when you know his weaknesses and you put the ball in his hands. You put a guy in like that for 8 minutes, he can come off the bench like a Nate Robinson did for the Celtics a couple years ago. Certainly a microwave of Vinnie Johnson like he did for Detroit. He can have a nice NBA career. Archie Goodwin on the flip side, he's got all the skills once they're developed to that NBA
once he
talent.
Once
he learns how to play the game. He's 6'5", he's strong, he's thick, he's quick, he can take it to the rack. There's no question who's going to. I mean, Russ Smith, we're talking about a guy who may not even get a shot. Let's be serious about that.
Real quick, Rashawn, who do you like?
Yeah, I think that Russ Smith has the potential. I think he needs to leave this year, truthfully, because I don't think his stock is going to get any higher by coming back and staying for a senior year. It is probably as good as it's going to be, maybe a high second-round pick. But I think that Russ Smith has potential to be a bench scorer, a poor man's Monte Ellis, somebody who can get in there, get you 10, 12 points, get you some energy, some steals, things of that nature. As far as Archie goes, he could be the next Tony Allen. He could be the next Russell Westbrook. I really don't know what lies in wait for him, but with his size, with his athletic ability, he'll be no worse than an excellent defender at the next level.
All right, let's move over to football, specifically Mark Stoops. He's done some incredible things with his recruiting during his 3-month tenure. Do you feel like he's already significantly narrowed the gap between UK and U of L football? Jeff?
Well, I'm smiling because the gap wasn't that far to begin with. I mean, I'll say it again, and I'll say it again. Play somebody. You've got a schedule that allows an opportunity to do what they did last year. And in a one-game, one knockoff scenario, you can beat a Florida. You can beat anybody. But the reality is,
you lost your hair now.
I did lose my hair.
The locks have come. Let's say the locks are starting to come. They're in full flow now. But go ahead, man.
I don't know that there was anything there to work with. So he did me a favor. I look better with the hair short. Here's the deal. U of L had the number 46 recruiting class last year in the nation, and Rashawn was so boisterous and happy about how they ranked 46 in the country in recruiting. Kentucky, meanwhile, was only 56 in the nation in recruiting last year. Flip it now. Mark Stoops has recruiting class top 25, maybe, and when they finish up, could be top 20. Louisville still, meanwhile, is sitting after you would think a Sugar Bowl victory would have really propelled a lot of momentum for a good recruiting class. But the reality is they're going to come in about 45. That gap has narrowed. The gap wasn't that far to begin with. So I'm quite comfortable with what we're doing in Lexington.
Rashawn, we'll get your response right after the break.